I say hello to everyone. I know I have not seen or spoken to many of you, so Happy New Year. And a special thank you to Ramin for inviting me to be the presenter for this evening. I always try to wonder how I can trail Ramin, but I should come in and say, good evening, forensic networkers, like Ramin would say. And I'm really happy to have Kenya on, because I know it's about 5 a.m. in Kenya now. And we have persons like Karimi and Lucy, who's on the call. And wow, thank you so much for your commitment, guys. And looking forward to hitting tonight and doing justice to what Ramin has so generously, lovingly, and in a very empowering way to bring us to date in the mistakes that we have been making as networkers. I want to start from the place of where Ramin left us off last week with number 9, where he says, most persons make the mistake and not learn the policies and procedures, the warranties, and the compensation plan of the business. The last note he left on with that for me was, you know, like, duh. Today, while listening to the recording again, it reminded me when I was an employee. And I go back to my first day on the job, my first week on the job, my first month on the job, my first 3 months, what we normally would refer to as our probationary period on the job. And the stakes were always very high. And if we did not meet the objectives that were set for us in that time frame, the first 3 months, more than likely we would not get selected for the job, or we would not get that contract to get appointed in that position. And so we burn the midnight oil. We read all of the rules and regulations of the company. We read about all the products of the company. We read about everything that governs the position that we're supposed to take in that job. And we commit to it. And why? Because I guess it's our culture. That's what we were born into. That's what we were raised in. That's what we were indoctrinated into. So it's part and parcel of what we were brought up into. So here we are from the job mindset, and then we start our networking business, our MLM business. And I wish that most of us, if not all of us, would take that same culture and put it into our networking business in our first 90 days like we did in the job. You see, we get to work extra early. Do we show up even for our job? We get to work and we make sure that our desks are in order. We have all of the things that we need for the day in order. If we're dealing with customers or other people, we make sure that we have what our job description is, what our daily targets are, and we make sure we don't just meet it, we exceed it. In our first 3 months, we're told to be on the job for 40 hours a week. Guess what? Most of us do 45 and 50, even 60 hours for the week to impress, to make sure we go above and beyond the call of duty. But then when we became networkers, some of us have been here for more than 90 days, yeah? Have we ever read the policies and procedures? Have we even taken time to understand the warranties that the company has for us on our product lines? Do we have taken time to understand the compensation plan? So I'm saying, if I move into my networking business with the same culture that I had or I have with my current job, more than likely I would be making a few $1,000s a month, guaranteed. So I leave that from number 9, where Ramin had us last week, and move on to number 10. When we, and I would love to use the analogy of the job a lot for us this evening. Why? Because I think a very high percentage of us on the call still do have a job, and we are committed to the job, regardless of how much we dislike or hate the job. So Ramin has a lot of experience with Networking. I have more experience with the job. I call myself a baby in networking, in MLM, because I have just about 9, 10 years experience, and all of my experiences with Opulence Global, thank God. So number 10, sorry, not able to create generational leadership. I want you to think about that. Not able to create generational leadership either because of ego, and that word comes up a lot, either because of ego or too hands-on, like we are too much hands-on, and create cripples as a result of our ego and having too much hands-on as a person. Now think of your job. When you started off as at your job, you probably, if you were lucky, you started off as a supervisor or a manager. But wherever you started, there was another step up, perhaps, someplace that you could move to. And for you to have moved up to that next level, it means that somebody above you would have had to mentor you. It means that somebody would have had to plant some more time, some more skills, some more training, some more responsibility into you to have that opportunity to demonstrate the skill set needed to move up in becoming a better leader or a greater leader or a supervisor to a manager to an HOD and so on. So if you had that expectation on your job, I want you to think about this. If you had that expectation on your job as a subordinate to your boss or to your superior to have given you that opportunity or even the chance for a promotion, were there days you felt stifled, or do you feel that way now? Were there days when you felt that you were being treated unfairly? Were there days when you felt that there was discrimination against you? Why? Because you know you have what it takes, but you're being overlooked because your boss is micromanaging. He or she wants to do everything themselves. They're not delegating anything. They even part of your responsibilities they want to do. They want to hide certain work from you because if you begin to do some things, it will show them up. You know, the kind of things that happen in the traditional job. Or maybe it's happening in your job now or has happened in your job. Partners, this is the exact analogy for me for this business. If we as individuals, regardless of whether you deem to be a leader in terms of having a big team like some of us do or not, leadership one starts with you empowering you. The way you will know that you are strong enough, good enough, know a lot, can do as much is to be able to teach someone or show someone or demonstrate to someone to doing what you're doing so they can now rise. I'm really, really, really honored to have some really amazing persons on my team who have shown the potential of leadership and step into leadership and be able to take coaching, not just from me, but from other leaders in the company, from other markets, as much as going to corporate for leadership guidance and assistance. So every single one of us, one of the things that I love in growing in this company and learning from Ramin a lot, he says that one, leadership starts with self. And the second thing he always says is people are attracted to strength and not weaknesses. People are attracted to strength and not weaknesses. Have you ever had a presentation or a talk and you're in front of the room and you're on fire? I mean, you're going and you're really bringing it. And there's a guest in your audience that walks up to you. Somebody else invited that guest, yes? And the guest walks up to you and says, I want to join, but I want to join with you. Has that ever happened to you? I'm sure it has happened to at least one person who's listening this evening. The reason the person is saying, I want to join with you, and now not listening to or just completely disregarding who actually invited them, is that person has recognized leadership in you. That person wants to work with somebody who is winning, somebody that they think they can rely on, somebody they think that can help them. Now, if you truly want to have a successful MLM business, you have to first build leadership in you, and now you can build leadership in others. Now they want to work with you. So now you have a team of people who want to grow with you, to want to grow like you. Now, this is where we now, as leaders or potential leaders, kick aside our egos from day one. We bury that, and to ensure that we begin to work with people to duplicate who we are. You see, the more of you that are present in your team, eventually the less work you have to do. And the less work you have to do, and seeing that you duplicate yourself in so many others, teaching these others now to duplicate themselves in others, and that domino effect continues, it means now you're creating an organization of leaders, people who know how to, when to, where to, and then you have a successful business that's paying you residual income over and over and over and over and over again. And I love Paul Getty's quote that says, I prefer to benefit from the effort of 1% of the effort of 100 people rather than benefiting from 100% of just my effort. In order to be successful in doing that, guys, we must, and there's no two ways about it, we must create generational leadership in our genealogy in order to experience a successful MLM business. And there is no exception to that rule, regardless of what company that you are part of. If you are in a job and you're a supervisor and manager, take that back to your job as well. Your department will not hit its targets until you are able to share responsibility in that department, and in order to empower your supervisors so they can now step up into more leadership. And so because of that, more hands on deck doing the same things. So that means less time is wasted and a lot more objectives are met in a shorter space of time. So if that made sense to you, please type for me, yes, 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 so I can move on to number 11, so we can see how far we can get on Rameen's list. Thank you so much, Teresa, Camille, Bob, Ramatu. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, you're making my job so much easier. Now, the next one is one of my favorites, but it's bittersweet for me. It's like a needle in your backside, forgive my Caribbean French. How can be your glory as well? And number 11 is one of the biggest mistakes I see happening all the time. People don't have a customer list. And I remember last week, Ifra asked Rameen, what's the one advice he would give to a brand new person is to have a promise list, he says. And from the promise list, we'll come to that point in a little bit. Imagine opening a traditional business and you have no customers, none whatsoever, not one customer. So usually I say to persons, the CEO of any organization, when you look at the triangle or the pyramid of any organization, they usually have the CEO in the top of the triangle. And you have the customers right on the bottom. So I'd like to invert that. And the top of that organization, the top of any organization, the top of any business that is in business to make money, even the non-profit organizations, the top, the most significant part of it is the clients, the customers. No customers, no business. Somebody please type that for me so I can remember to put it in my notes. No customers, no business. No customers, no business. No customers, no business. That's right. No customers, no business. So usually when I launch a new person, one of the first things I tell them to do for me is, I want your promise list. Why have you done this? What do you hope to achieve from it? What's the time frame and what you're willing to give up for it? And who are the first set of persons you want to share this with, both product and business opportunity? Unless you have a list, I cannot work with you. I will say this again. Unless you have a list, I cannot work with you. What can I do? I mean, you don't have a list. We'll just sit here and just talking, and we will not have any work done. So last week when Ramin talks about, or some people say they spend 14 hours a day in their business, but then the question truly is it income generating activity? You cannot do income generating activity if you do not have customers, if you don't have clients, if you don't have business prospects, because that is what income generating is about. Guys, and it's a no-brainer, really. It makes complete sense that if I came in this to make money, I don't have a list of customers, I'm not making a list of customers, then what really am I doing? What am I doing? So no customers, no business. So tonight, I urge you, we're in the year 2020. Some of the things that's plaguing the world right now over is the shift, the global economical shift that's happening that was slated from 2007, that they said would have bounced back so many times, called recession, which was a lie. So that shift is now moving faster and faster and faster. So here's your income and here's your cost of living. So every day you're getting poorer. The way to change that is, one, you already have a business. You already have a damn good business. That business carries some of the most powerful, most effective, most realistic product lines that one can get today. So one of the pitfalls that Ramin spoke about last week is persons choose what products they use. I decide to use all of the products in my store. If I own a pizza store, a pizza shop, why should I go to another pizza shop and buy pizza? That's what he said last week. So if I have toothpaste, and not just toothpaste, I mean, one of the best that you will find, why should I go patronize somebody else's business when I have it in my business? If I have body wash and shampoo, why should I go buy from somebody else? If I have conditioner, why should I go buy from somebody else? If I have a skincare regimen, why should I go buy from somebody else? If I have shoes, if I have belts, if I have sunglasses, if I have bags, if I have wallets, if I have all of these things, why should I go buy from somebody else and leave it in my store? My God, if you have a traditional business and have these things in your business, why would you go buy from somebody else? Huh? Who does that? Well, a few of us do that. And many persons are concerned about this new virus that's released. I say released because truly it was released. And guys, it is called a hot iron. And if you're not seeing the opportunity, then that opportunity will run away from you. So see your products, use them. Find people who want these products. And there are billions of people who need some of our products. Need. Valentine's Day is coming up. And you know that's when most people with importancies need potency. So as a tagline, so to sell more fountain of life for Valentine's Day. I did not say that, okay, guys? That's St. Lucia talking. That's the island talking, not Vern. So don't say that I said that. So look for opportunity and sell your products. Find your list. If you have a list and have not been using it, please revive that list. If you have a list and you're afraid to use it, I will give you my email address so you can email your list to me so I can use for myself. If you know people who know people who know people and you're not tapping into these people, please create a three-way chat on WhatsApp with me, you, and these persons so I can so lovingly introduce myself and begin to tap into their networks. You see, you might not have a network, but you're connected to one person who has a network. Yeah? So guys, have a customer list. So before I move on to number 12, no customers, no business. No customers, no business. No customers, no business. So, Cuthbert, thank you for understanding the St. Lucia joke. And I know Teresa got it too. I don't know how she did because she's not St. Lucian, but Teresa for sure got that. So moving on to number 12, no roadmap. How many persons actually use Google Maps or GPS when you drive or trying to navigate yourself to get somewhere? If that's you, just say me in the chat. Say me. Say me. Hey, Renee, thank you. Say me. Bob says he uses GPS. Great stuff. Bob, I do as well. Who else uses GPS? Rachel uses GPS. Marie uses GPS. Ramatu uses GPS. Oh my God, everybody uses GPS. So I use GPS and I use Google Maps a lot. If you're trying to find your way to get somewhere, you don't know where you're going, you don't have a map, you don't have GPS, you don't have Google Maps, there are people around you and you're trying to find a place. What do you do? How do you get to that place? You don't have Google Maps. You don't have GPS. You ask questions. You ask someone. You ask for help. Now, if you don't know where you're going to, you join this business, you came to this store, and there's this girl in front of the room and this guy in front of the room. They're so full of passion and energy. They got you excited, and the presentation was off the hook, and they really got you into this thing. You know, like when you go to church and they get you, and then you're on a high, and when you come out of there, you ask, what hit you? And then you sign up the same night, and then you woke up the following morning and you ask, oh, what the heck? Where am I going? What am I doing? What? So if you're confused, number one, I give you the benefit of the doubt. When you sign up, maybe you were not sure what you were doing. Ask for help. So persons you know, or the people who really got you excited, go back to them and tell them, you really want to do this, but you want to know where next to go. And then they start asking you questions. Okay, so let's talk about your family. Let's talk about what you currently do for a living. Let's talk about what you do for fun, for recreation, and let's talk about your money situation. So now you begin to understand what your current situation is, where I am at. So knowing where you are now will help you create a pathway, a map, a guide, a road to understand where it is that you want to go to. So where am I and what it is that I want? What I want is your destination. How you move from where you are to what you want, that is to getting it, is called your GPS. How do you do it? So what's your roadmap? What's your promise list? What do you want? Some persons will say, Vern, you know, I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want that when I go to the supermarket, I have to watch the price tags. I don't want that when my kids come to me for something, I don't have money. I don't want that when I have my vacation, I can't go on vacation. I don't want for when I get to a certain age, I don't have money. I don't want, so okay, you're telling me all of what you don't want. So that's awesome. Let's use that, what you don't want, and let's create contrast with it to decide what it is that you do want. And then you'll begin telling me, Vern, you know, I would love to decide to doing something or to having something based on whether I want it or not, and not because I can afford it or not. Now that's a great place to be, huh? Do I really want this or not? It's not about whether I can afford it or not. Like going to the restaurant and you look up a menu, and instead of looking for the food that you really want to eat, you look at the price menu instead of the food menu. How many of you do that? I do that sometimes, depending on where I go. I know most persons do that. So your roadmap, your promise list creates your roadmap. So if you've never done a promise list, do one. Do a promise list tonight. Write it down. A promise that you make to yourself, not to anyone, to yourself. Usually when we make promises, especially to our kids, to children, they hold that promise so dear to their hearts. So make that promise to yourself. It doesn't have to be a long list. Guys, you can start off with just 2 or 3 or one, the one that is most important, most significant to you. Make that promise list, because without it, it's like driving around without a GPS, without Google Maps, without directions as to where you want to go. And then you waste time, you waste resources, and you will be frustrating yourself, you'll be frustrating other people, and then you will turn around and say, you know, this thing doesn't work, this thing is a sham, these people are all about hype, and only those people in the top are making money. You know why? Some persons are making more money than others because they have a promise list. And the promise list then creates the guidelines, the map as to where they want to go. They get people along the way to help them. They get resources on the way to help them. They get other opportunities on the way to help them. They expand on the way to getting there. They transform on the way to getting there. And the amazing thing is they make money on the way to getting there and eventually get there and then create a new promise list from there. So start with one. Don't try to overwhelm yourself or make yourself feel like a hero. Start with at least one and commit to it. Use your business to help you get that promise achieved for you, not for anyone, but for you. The gratification you'll feel at the end of it will be exuberant and something that you will be meant to celebrate, not just with yourself, but those persons who helped you along the way. So are we going good? Great, great. Yes, yes. If it's good, yes, yes. If it's no good, say not yet. So I can move on to number 13. I think we're doing good with time, yes? So if we're good, yes, yes. If we're not good, say not yet. Awesome. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. So we're on number 13. Am I right? Number 13. Number 13, one of the other mistakes that we make is do not meet all co-op, do not meet your My 5 and your Ultimate 5. I'll tell you a short story. I remember when I started my business in 2011. Oh, like most people, I was on fire. I wanted to leave my job. I wanted to do so many crazy things. That was in 2011, and I didn't know anybody in corporate. I only knew one person, the person who told me about this business. I didn't know anything about My 5 or Ultimate 5 or corporate. I just knew about the name of the company, where it was based, and I knew about some of the products, you know, but I just saw the money and I wanted in on the money. Within a few months, I burnt out. Yeah, I burnt out and I quit. In 2012, September to be exact, this friend of mine called Arthur Anthony that I had tried to pursue in 2011 about this opportunity, and he says to me, Vern, you need to be careful about these things. You know, you first need to pray about it and ask God for direction and guidance, so be careful. And listen, I looked at the guy to tell him too few Caribbean words, yeah, but I didn't. He didn't give me a chance to say it to him. So in September 2012, after I quit, he calls me and he says, hey, Vern, you have something that I want. I was like, huh? Excuse you? You're a man, I'm a lady. Hello, hold it. And then he says to me, remember this thing you showed me last year? I want to see it now. I quit. Dude, I'm no longer doing this thing. So he meets up with me. I vaguely tell him a few things that I remembered. And then he says to me, I'm not so convinced. So I highly recommend you contact your people in Canada and then get back to me. You know, I looked at him, I said, oh, this guy with arrogance said, get in touch with your people in Canada. So I listened. I contacted my upline, Reza. And then no sooner had I done that, than he responded and he upgraded me from 0 to at least level 5. And then he taught me a few things, the launch pad and a few things that were happening in the company at the time. Oh, wow. 2 weeks of every day training with him brought me up to speed. Now I'm back on fire. So I meet back with Arthur in my house. I do this with him, with me burning with fire, zeal and everything. Then he's in. So Arthur launched, and then we hit the road flying. So somebody from corporate calls my phone November in 2012. My phone rings. I answer my phone. I said, hello. He says, hello, is this Vernisha? I said, yes, it is. And he says, Vernisha, this is Ramin. I said, Ramin? Ramin who? First mistake. I did not know corporate. I did not know corporate. And then when I say Ramin who? He says, Ramin Mesgarlu, GWT. I said, oh, did I do something wrong? He said, oh no, young lady, you are emerging in St. Lucia like a tropical storm without warning. I did not know corporate. I didn't. That was a big mistake, because when he called me and said, Ramin, I should have instantly known that it was the CEO of the company that I was working with. So that was my first mistake. I did not get to know all of my uplines, my 5. I hooked onto one and that was it. And I did not care to get to know the others. So even when I quit the first time, guys, I was plugged into, even at that time, my enroller. And when he quit, I quit. And I wasn't plugged into the others. And because of that, my business almost failed. Perhaps if Arthur had not contacted me in 2012, I would have never come back to this business. So plugging into corporate, my 5, my ultimate 5, is really a key contributing to having a successful business. Fortunate for us in Opulence Global, as compared to most other MLM companies, we have corporates available to us on weekly webinars. So in case somebody did not know who Sanaz is, every single Monday, she is properly edified and introduced to every single person on the call as to who she is. Every Tuesday night when Ramin comes on, he's properly edified and introduced as the CEO and founder of the company. So even if your enroller did not do that or failed in their responsibilities to you, if you plug into the system, it means that you have every chance and opportunity to know who your corporate is. If you're on this call and you don't know who your My 5 is, guys, get back to the person who launched you, because if your enroller is not available, then the other 4 persons in your upline genealogy who are qualified with enough knowledge to assist you, if you don't know them, then you are setting yourself up for possible failure, because that one person you're plugging yourself into may not always be available to answer your questions, to support you with a new customer or business partner, or to guide you with a certain challenge that you have. So when you have a group of 5 people, you stand a much, much better chance of succeeding in your MLM business. Your ultimate 5 will include some of the top income earners in the company that form your genealogy. Again, fortunate for us in Opulence, we have some of the most powerful ultimate 5s in almost every single team that exists in the company. So no one of us have an excuse of saying, I don't have at least one ultimate 5 that I have access to. For example, Reza, who I think is in everybody's or most person's ultimate 5. Reza has so many webinars going. He's always available. You send him a private WhatsApp message. He responds in reasonable time. And what I love to call our ticketing system is part of my 5 as well, because we have a WhatsApp line for our customer service and for products and so on. So I think as it pertains to number 13, do not meet all of corporate. And I personally refer to corporate not just as Sanaz, Ramin, but I refer to corporate as head office. This team of persons is sitting in Richmond Hill that support us for sales, customer service, product, warranty, accounts, payments, new launches, VIPs, shipping, everything that encompasses our business. Guys, get to know these people or these systems that will empower your business to ensure that you have a successful MLM business. To forfeit these things is to cause you to run a failing business, and that will be on you, not on your uplines or your My 5 or your Ultimate 5. It will be on you. Please ensure when you launch a new person, plug them into the system and not into you. I will say this again. If you want a successful MLM business, plug your new partners into the system and not in you. Meanwhile, be available to assisting, to empowering, to coaching, to guiding, to motivating these personal partners that you bring into the business. One of these things that Ramin said last week to us is about the first 6 months. Continue to building like and trust with your new partner. Find something every day to connect with them about. So once you can hold them in, they will stay on. And that is important also with your My 5, your Ultimate 5, and with corporate. And once you make yourself known to them, also, that means that once your name comes up, I know this girl, Vern, she's in St. Lucia. She's trying to help her persons. She's kind of new, but she shows a lot of potential. So let's put ourselves out there for her. So get to know corporate, get to know your My 5, and get to know your Ultimate 5. So we're moving on. Yes, yes, not yet. Yes, yes, not yet. Moving on to number 14. Yes, yes, not yet. Tell me, guys. I see somebody's hand up. I see a lot of yes, yeses, yes, yeses, yes, yeses. I think we're doing good time. Yes. So number 14 says, one of the mistakes that many of us have made, some of us are making right now, some persons probably will make, but if you're on this call tonight, I hope if you have not made that mistake or you're not making that mistake now, you don't make that mistake. And it's called some persons prejudge everything. They prejudge candidates, they prejudge uplines, they prejudge the comp plan. And basically, our job is to not prejudge, to not judge. Our job is to act. We've had other persons from other MLM companies join this company. And either they came from as leaders in other companies or at a high rank in other companies, or they spent a lot of time in other companies and then they moved here. We had a typical example of somebody from another market that joined us, came from another company, and he had about over 10,000 people in his team, but he didn't make money. And then he says to downgrade the price of the retailer package, it's too expensive for his market. He says to remove the smart buy because it doesn't work. And he wanted to make so many changes, asking corporate to make so many changes to the comp plan. These very things that existed in his previous company that did not work, that did not enable him to make money, he's trying to have these same things implemented in this company so would make it workable for his market. And thank God for the wisdom of our CEO. And he says, we're here to make money and we're not a charity club. And he's right. So I want to create a scenario like friending relationships. So Vern is dating Joe, and I spent 2 years with Joe, and I went through certain things with Joe. That relationship didn't work. And then I met Jack. I fell in love with Jack. And I'm bringing all of my skeletons and all of these things from being with Joe into this relationship with Jack. Chances be my relationship with Jack will fail. More than likely it will fail because I'm dragging all of my baggage into this new relationship, and then I'm beginning to prejudge everything that my new guy has not even yet done because of my previous experience in my previous relationship. Now, our job again with pitfall number 14, prejudging things based on our previous experiences will probably get us to fail now, will contribute to an unsuccessful business in MLM now. So it's important to start with a clean, completely clean slate. Forget everything that you knew. Forget everything that you had. And even those of us who never had a previous business or was never with a previous company, like myself, I never had another company before Opulence, but I have experienced phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, up to Opulence in this company. And I have seen so many changes. Some I'm not too happy with, and some I'm exuberant and excited about. Now, every time a change comes about, guys, we prejudge it based on what we knew before. And certain aspects of our compensation plan that probably I personally loved and is no longer existing, I now prejudge that this thing is not going to work. Oh, I don't like this thing. And I miss out on opportunity to making serious money by slowing down or even stopping because of a change that was made to make sure we have longevity, to make sure we have sustenance, to make sure that our business can continue to sustain as it has been its first 12 years. So it's important for us to not prejudge. Don't prejudge our candidates. Don't prejudge our uplines. Don't prejudge the comp plan, the management. Our job is to act. Our job is to simply act. If you take up your promise list every single day and you use your customer list every single day, you will only have time to act. You won't have time to prejudge anything. So our role, our responsibility when we came in, our only thing was to make money. As for whatever reason we want the money for, but we came in to make money. If we didn't come in to make money for ourselves, we came in to make money for someone that we love, for someone that we care for. So prejudging hurts only one person, self. Prejudging hurts only one person, self. So imagine every time a change comes around. Imagine every time your upline comes to you. Imagine every time a new product is launched. Imagine every time the compensation plan is evolved. Imagine every time something like that comes up, that you will open and ready. Can you imagine how fast your business will grow and continue to grow because you're not prejudging? All you're doing is acting. So I love what Cuthbert just put here. Prejudging is counterproductive. So you remember what Ramin said about, do you want to be rich or do you want to be right? So do you want to be right about the upline or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be right about the compensation plan or you want to use it to become rich? Do you want to be right about the products or you want to be rich? Do you want to be right about management or do you want to be rich? It is called, it's a call to action. And if you don't do that, you're complaining. So when you call me to complain based on one of the pitfalls, are you calling me to complain really, or are you calling me because you want help or you want a solution to a problem that you have? So guys, if we stop prejudging, it means that now we have enough time. And because our focus is about acting, that focus will cause us to become bigger and bigger about that subject, and we will only become more productive. And being more productive means that you'll deliver faster and bigger on your promise list every single time. So type for me, no prejudging, call to action. 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 Yes, yes. Yes, yes, or not yet. Yes, yes, or not yet. Yes, yes, or not yet. So we have one more to move to, and no prejudging, call to action. Yes, yes. Thank you so much, guys. And our number 15. Oh, how I love this one. Number 15 out of 15. It's called try versus do. I think I'll take a drink on this one. I'm drinking a special kind of black coffee, but I think I know you know what black coffee I'm drinking. It's Vern's version of black coffee. Try versus do. Cannot be half pregnant. Can you imagine? Those of us who've been pregnant, just imagine walking around and being half pregnant. What's that? I can't even imagine that. You're either hungry or you're not hungry. You're either thirsty or you're not thirsty. You either wake up or you don't wake up. You either walk or you don't walk. It's you either do it or you don't do it. I don't know whoever invented the word try. I don't even know what that means. Like try. So when a person says to me, okay, I'm going to try, like business partners, I show them this opportunity. Has anybody gotten that? You show someone the business opportunity, they decide to join and they say to you, okay, I'm going to try it. My response always to that is, don't try it, because you'll be wasting your money and your time and my time. If you decided to do it, then I'm ready to work with you. But I'm not going to work with you if you're going to try it. So trying in MLM does not work. Trying it means the only time you will come to your business is when your boss pisses you off at work. You will try it and it will last for 2 days. You will call your upline and oh, you're on fire. You want to do this. You show up to the tour. You're dressed to kill. You bring 5 people. They launch, and then in 2 weeks, you're gone again because you and your boss have made up. Or your car broke down and you don't have the extra money to fix it, but you need that car. So you try out that business for about 2 weeks to make the money, and you do make the money, and then you make the money, and then you stop again. Guys, trying anything does not allow you to commit to it. You see, the difference between trying is it doesn't matter what the outcome is. It does not mean anything to you. Whether you do it, whether it happens or not, whether you win or not, whether there's no gain and there's no pain if there's a trying. Why waste your money and your time? Why? But when you decide to do something, you commit to it. When you decide to do something, no matter how many times it appears that you're failing, you keep doing it until you hit target. Until you hit target. When I decided that jobs were not working for me and I started to build my business full-time in 2012, I quit my jobs, I burnt that bridge behind me, and I decided, you know, that's it. I want to spend time with my kids. I want to be a first-class mom. I want to be a first-class daughter. I want to make sure that I am there for those people who depend on me the most. That's my kids and my aging mom and dad. I burned the bridge. There were many times I felt like quitting. There were many times I wanted to stop. There were many times I felt that this thing is not working. Everybody's telling me no. I've showed so many tours and people are not joining. They say yes, and then when it's time to do, they don't do. And then they come, they say, oh, book me this for this. And when it's time, they don't. And my God, I burnt out so many times and wanted to quit. But then every time I thought of quitting, or I even decided to quit, I turn around to go back. And then the only option at that time was I have to go get a job. Why? Because I still have to feed my kids. I still have to pay my bills. I still have to pay my mortgage. I still have to take care of myself. And then when I thought of the job and the reason I left my job, I was like, whoa. And I turned back, guys. The bridge is not there. I burned that bridge. So that forced me to do. In case I decided to slow down and try it a little bit longer, because I burned that bridge called the job behind me, I had to commit to it to make it work. And because I committed to it, it meant that I had to do some things every single day. And that was my income generating activity in making it happen. There are days on the job you don't feel like going to work, especially on that Monday morning, or that Tuesday morning after a long weekend, Hello, Maria says, hello. You go anyway. Your boss pisses you off at work. You go anyway. You don't try to go to work. You go anyway. You start your car in the morning and it's going, and you keep swinging that key until it comes. You do it. You're moving from here to there and you're walking. You don't try to raise your feet. Oh, let me try. You do it. You do it. So doing comes with commitment. When you commit to something, even when it becomes hard, even when it becomes impossible, even when it hurts you, you continue to do it because you are committed to doing it because of what you promised to get at the end of it for you. Guys, when you do it, the result you are thankful for. And at the end of it, I said to persons, when you are successful, when you decide to do a thing, you get the praise. If you try to do it and you fail, you get the blame. Nobody else. You get the blame. So don't blame your upline because you didn't make money. Don't blame your upline because you can't show somebody the tour. Don't blame your upline because you will blame the compensation plan. You can blame corporate. You can blame anyone. But the only person you can blame is you. Because if you have been trying to doing anything, I can guarantee you that you will not achieve anything at the end of it. But once you decide to doing it means that you're calling yourself to serious, consistent action in making it happen. And once you're doing that, along your path, along your way, you will meet people that will empower you, that will help you, that will coach you, that will help you win. You will get circumstances and situations and opportunities that will cause you to become more in your person because of your commitment. You will get people that will be appointed along your path to favor you along that way because you have committed to doing it. But if you try, you will fall and you'll stay down. You'll fall and you'll stay down. So I invite you to doing your MLM business this year in 2020. Make it a year of doing. Stop thinking about what you had been thinking about for so long and start doing what you had been thinking about for so damn long. Start doing it and stop trying to do it. What if you wake up in the morning and your face basin or your toilet tries to be a toilet? What a mess. Okay, that probably was not the best example. Maybe it wasn't the best example. But what if your face basin decided to try to be a face basin? What if your stove decided to try to be a stove and your car tried to be a car? And I mean, think about all of these things that are doing. what they're called to do, here's the result that you get. They deliver on what they're supposed to deliver on. That's the same thing for every single one of us. So one of the major pitfalls that many persons make, and that pitfall actually speaks to the number one that Ramin spoke about 2 weeks ago, which is, I can't do this business. It's not for me. I'm not like them. So you're now beginning to beat on yourself. Trying is almost like that. But when you decide to doing it, whoa, amazing things happen. So what I would love to hear from you is, we did from number 10 to number 15, and we are on the hour right now. I would love to hand back over to my amazing host and business partner and great friend, Arthur, to wrap up with us. Please share with us what your favorite part of tonight was, what spoke to you the most, what was most enlightening to you, and to share with Arthur also what you would love to hear next in terms of our next forensic networker, to give from me the cue, I guess. And so we can move on to next week, and so Arthur can close the call for us. So thank you everyone for having me. Thank you so much for helping me present this, the latter part of this presentation that Ramin started. I think I learned more tonight than any one of us on the call, and to actually take my own notes and learn from my own notes. And so thank you so much for all of you for being here, for participating, and for helping me do this really well, and handing back over back to our amazing host tonight, Arthur Anthony. Love, love, love to you all. Mwah.
What does Arthur say? Wow, 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 wow. You know that, right? OMG, Vern. I mean, I told you guys that she's going to bring it. I told you I have a surprise for you. I told you she comes with passion, but whoa, I'm sitting there and I'm getting the chills because I'm feeling it, you know. And when this lady speaks, she speaks from her soul. So, you know, it's good stuff. So tell me, what did you get tonight? What really appealed to your soul? Because I took a lot of notes, you know, I took a lot of notes, but what did you take? What did you get from it? So please share with us tonight. And what came out to you? What was the strongest part of the passion that Venetia brought out? And in terms of all that she shared, and it was a lot, but what I love about her sharing is that she's real. And this business, if you are not real with it, it's going to be real with you. It's either you in or you out. So what did you get tonight from this? What did you get? Share with us. If you want to share by raising your hand, please do. I will definitely unmute you so you can raise your hand. If you want to raise your hand and share it instead, that's absolutely fine. And if you want to just speak out, if you want to put it in the chat, please do that. You love the part prejudging. Let me see this, make sure I can say it properly. Okay, so Cuthbert is saying he loved the prejudging error and also stop trying and just do it. Okay, I got that very loud and clear, Cuthbert. And I see a few hands are up. We have, let's go to, let's see, I'm going to allow Cuthbert to speak. Cuthbert, you want to speak instead, my brother? You are unmuted. Cuthbert, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Talk with us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Alpha, Venetia did a fantastic job. I mean, I am there doing some work. I was listening to the webinar and I couldn't help but concentrate on the webinar more than the payroll that I'm doing. And as you could see, I contributed in the chat room, and it's just remarkable the errors, the pitfall that we MLMers do. And it is training like this, Arthur, that really brings out those errors right before our eyes, make us recognize those errors, and we are guided away from them and to do what needs to be done to ensure that we achieve success in our business. And as a consequence, in realizing that success, we will stop blaming every aspect of the business as undeservedly or unjustly as it may be. But it's only when we start doing what needs to be done